US President Donald Trump has issued a warning to Russia as the ball is now in its court over whether it agrees on a ceasefire with Ukraine. Joining us now is Director of Strategic Analysis Australia, Peter Jennings. Peter Jennings, thank you for joining us. Look, as we know, Ukraine has accepted a 30-day proposal for an immediate ceasefire in the more than 3-year-long conflict after talks in Saudi Arabia. Now, Donald Trump has delivered this message to Putin. Let's take a listen.
There are things you could do that wouldn't be pleasant in a financial sense. I can do things financially that would be very bad for Russia. I don't want to do that because I want to get peace. I want to see peace, and we'll see. But in a financial sense, yeah, we could do things very bad for Russia. It would be devastating for Russia, but I don't want to do that because I want to see peace. And we're getting close to maybe getting something done. We've got Ukraine done, and as you know, I've always said that Ukraine might have been the more difficult party. You were here a week ago when some interesting things happened. I had somebody that didn't seem to want peace. Now he's agreed to peace. So we'll see what happens.
What's your assessment? What can we really expect from Russia?
Well, we're at the business end of these negotiations now. It surprises me a bit that there's not been a more detailed set of discussions with Russia already. Trump's had a few conversations with Putin, but here we're going to get to the brass tacks, if you like. And I think we have to wait and see. Russia has been very aggressively pursuing its military campaign right up until now. And so the first thing to look for will be, will they accept that ceasefire deal? And then I think we're in for some pretty tough negotiations over land, over territory, and over security guarantees. That they will be the key things.
Absolutely. And Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, is heading to Moscow for talks on the ceasefire, difficult conversations. And as you mentioned, there are some key issues we really need to discuss, possibly not at this point in time, but down the track. How much will Ukraine have to give up?
So at the moment, Russia occupies approximately 20% of Ukrainian territory. And the Russian position that's been put publicly is they want to keep all of that. Ukraine also has a pocket of land which they militarily occupied inside Russia near Kursk. So that's what's up, I guess, for negotiation. The Ukrainians clearly don't want to give up an inch of territory, but I think practically they understand that might be the price for peace.
Yeah.
And I think we have to see now, is Russia going to be content with that, or are they going to try and position to take more? I don't anticipate that this is going to be easy. I think, in spite of President Trump's bluster, this is actually going to be really hard for two countries that have been fighting each other incredibly hard for actually over a decade now. So these are going to be some tough talks.
What options are there if Russia does not agree to the ceasefire?
Well, as Trump has said, he does have options to make sanctions harder on Russia. He could talk to China to try and make China pressure Russia. China has really become the backer of Moscow's war. And we've all seen the pressure that Trump has been prepared to put on to Zelensky. So America has military power and economic power. That's the two levers that it contains. Frankly, I think Putin should be thanking his lucky stars that in President Trump he's found someone who's prepared to treat him somewhat as an ally, because the Russians have been bleeding very badly through this war. Putin's been forced to empty his jails in order to find manpower to send to the front. And, it's a myth to think that the Russians are somehow on the verge of victory. They're not. So Trump has held out an olive branch to Putin, and if Putin has any sense, he'll accept it. I'm just not so sure that for a leader who engages in so much brinksmanship internationally as Putin does, that he will. So I'm pretty sceptical about where this is going to lead. I don't think we'll see quick solutions.
Does Donald Trump deserve credit for getting to this step, to getting Ukraine to agree to a ceasefire deal? No one's been able to do that up until this point. I suppose it's way too early to start celebrating it. But does he deserve credit that we are at least appearing to be closer to a path to peace?
I give Trump credit for achieving a remarkable thing, which is getting the European countries to spend more on defence. US presidents have been asking for that for decades. Only Trump has really been able to deliver it. I'm disappointed with the toughness that Trump has shown towards an ally. And we shouldn't forget that Ukraine was the country that was invaded. They're fighting for their survival. I think Trump could have handled that a little better, particularly not having that public fight with Volodymyr Zelensky in the Oval Office. But yes, he has advanced in his own fairly demanding and rough way an idea for peace talks, which no one has really been able to successfully prosecute. I think he should get some credit for that. And now we just have to see them stick with it, I think, to deliver an outcome that's just, that doesn't deliver victory to an aggressive authoritarian country, Russia, which provides some degree of security backing for Ukraine, which keeps its independence. They're the outcomes which I think we need to see.
After that fight, I suppose you could call it, between Zelensky and Donald Trump, it's been revealed that Trump does intend to invite Zelensky back for another meeting in the White House. And this comes just a fortnight after their big clash. Is it going to be awkward between the two? What do you expect from this meeting?
Well, another day, another press conference. The first thing I'll be looking to see is will the Vice President J.D. Vance be in the room, or will have Trump sent him to the naughty corner for?
No, I think they're very aligned.
And but no, I mean, the remarkable thing about Trump is that nothing that happened yesterday has to matter very much. I think having had that experience, having had the Ukrainians sort of recalibrate how they're going to approach the issue, this will be the meeting that both sides would have wanted a week ago. And that's a good thing, because I think I want to see the US and Ukraine get back to a more friendly and cooperative state. And if that's what we see, then that'll be a fine outcome.
Peter Jennings, Director of Strategic Analysis Australia, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.